Right, but you know that thing that when people get whipped, people pay prostitutes to humiliate them, right? Isn't that the most ridiculous thing that most men like me know? I've never had to pay to be humiliated by a woman in my entire life. I get that for free quite often.
I remember my first wedding anniversary. Now, you know, at the time, I was a young comic. I was on the road, and I couldn't afford to take my wife with me, so I would call her after every show, you know. And it was a Saturday night, and I had just done a really tough show, all Indians. You talk about intense. That caused quite a flap, huh? So I called my wife. Somebody stop me for God's sake. So I called my wife, and she knew it was our anniversary, but she didn't want to say anything. You know, she wasn't going to help me. Yeah. She was just not going to say a word, and she decided. So we talked, and at the end of the conversation, I said, "I love you." Gave me a little kiss. She said, "I love you too," even though she hated my guts because I forgot our anniversary. My wife, like most women, can take her anger and outrage and put it away till she needs it. Turns out she needed it on Sunday.
Folks, you ever go your whole life thinking you're a good dancer? Until you see yourself on video, the only move you have is like a drunken speed skater.
My daughters are 13, 11, and 6 4/5, okay? I have to say the 4/5 because if I don't, every time I say, Daddy! Daddy, I'm 6 4/5, Daddy! 6 4/5! And here's the thing, every time she says it, I don't say this out loud, but I think to myself, I know, because I was happy 7 years ago.
I was officially diagnosed by a psychiatrist with ADD. I'm like, why bother now? You know what I mean? I already destroyed my life, you know? I really could have used that diagnosis in first grade when I was counting the stars out the window. I yelled at my teacher, you idiot! Look up here!
A lot of people have that agoraphobia, the fear of going out. I had the opposite, fear of staying home. It's called home with my wife alonophobia. Married guys get it. So Jim, 20 years, you use the Viagra? No, you don't use the Viagra. Viagra is the #1 most prescribed drug in the history of medicine. More than penicillin! Oh yeah, but yet, nobody's using it. Jim's not using it, nobody's raising their hand. I don't know where it's going, but they're making a shitload of this stuff, I'll tell you right now.
Alright, so, so this is how bad my marriage is. I'm sitting at the table across from my wife, and my wife's doing one of these. She's kicking my leg like it's the table, like the table leg. And this is how fucked up my marriage is. I have to think about how I want to approach this. Like, do I really want this fight right now while I'm trying to enjoy my $9 salad? So I go, after like 5 minutes of it, I go, you stop kicking my leg, please? You know, can you stop kicking my leg? She goes, can you please stop kicking my leg? I haven't smoked a cigarette in 24 hours. Anyone here who's a smoker understands where my mind goes at this point. Immediately I start fantasizing, right? Like in my head, I'm like, if you're doing something bad to somebody, you shouldn't have to be polite to ask them to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like if you break into my house and rape my wife, you say, sir, excuse me, pardon me for a moment, could you please remove your penis from my wife? Please exit the building. And it's not the time, she's hurting me, right? So in my head, this sounds really wrong, this is why I'm asking. I picture in my head picking up a fork, and stabbing her in the neck. No, she's screaming, "Ah, stop!" The blood's gone everywhere. I'm like, "Say please, say please!" So that's when I went outside and I had my cigarette.
Here's one you haven't seen. Vanishing beer bottle. You've seen it already, you're gonna see it again. There we go. Now! Freaking believable. No wires. No mirrors or nothing. Alright, you don't believe in this shit. I don't care.
I mentioned that I like to hang out with the geezer chicks. Well, here's the thing that happens with the geezer chicks, okay? You gotta have a bunch of them. You can't just have one geezer chick. You need a few of them. Because, you know, they break hips and go on IR. Whatever. And one of my geezer chick buddies, who's a little mentally irregular, you know, well, all the hormones are gone and she's not quite sure what she is anymore. She got a little goofy and took me hostage. I was involved in a hostage situation and she forced me, against my will, to go to Yankee Candle. I'm not talking about the little thing at the Buckland Hills Mall here. I'm talking about the mothership up in Deerfield. Have you been there? It's the size of Manhattan. And all the way through it, she was doing exactly what the other hostage takers are doing. And sticks this foul, sweet-smelling thing in your face. I thought my head was going to explode. But here's the danger, guys. There is danger to this. Those smells get inside of you. And they poison your man stuff. They do. By the time I got back to the car, my male universe was completely screwed up. So I fastened my seatbelt and let go a gigantic fart. I'm thinking, that'll balance things out a little. But I was wrong. It smelled like Christmas trees. With a hint of vanilla and a touch of bayberry.
Brought back her last progress report, 4 C's and a D. You know, and I said to her, you know, hon, I'm thinking the only way you're ever going to get an A or a B is if you catch hepatitis. It's a little tough love, but it was appropriate, you know? But I'm a good dad. I'm not one of those dads that's embarrassed to go out to the CVS or Walgreens to pick up the kids' period supplies. Not embarrassed at all. I mean, I'll walk out with my hands full of pads, plug, shit with wings flying off of it. I wear them like my own personal red badge of courage to show the people of South Windsor. Hey, look at that. Dr. Suitcase Kids made it through another month of high school without getting pregnant. Way to go, Doc. Good work, buddy. Good work.
That's all the applause I get. It's like 4 claps. 6 claps. Come on. Hey folks, how you feel? Hey look, Palmer, I don't want to be here either, okay? So let's just get this out in the open, alright? It's no secret. I can't believe I'm here either, okay? Wow. Can you believe this? Look at this. I saw it looked like a barn from outside. I was like, this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. Not for me. This is not a good idea. Right now, I'm identifying exits, okay? So, just in case things go bad, I'm going this way, all right? Hopefully there's a train coming and I can just get right out of here. right out the door. He's gone. That was the end of it. Wow, this is amazing, isn't it?
Now, while I have you guys here, we're talking about kids. How many folks, by applause, have kids? Now I'm going to ask you a very pointed question. How many of you blame their shortcomings on your spouse? It happens in our house all the time. Have you seen the report cards your boys brought home? Have you seen the carnage unleashed on this house by your boys? Have you seen it? Better than asked the other day, my son meets me in the kitchen at 5 o'clock and says, "What is wrong with your wife?" You mean your mom? Not in the mood she's in.